This is going to be a somewhat quick educational video on rigging a frog slash bluegill hybrid. I use the Unitoad, which is made by Zoom, as part of it, and then they also have these double-legged frogs. They come in different brands. This one happens to have a little weight on the bottom here, just ahead of the two hooks. My guess is that it's designed so that if when the bait falls, if it's back down as you start to reel it, it'll flip over so that it lands on its belly like it's supposed to, and then the legs kick behind it. These have somewhat I mean, I've caught fish on these, but in the areas that I want to fish them, I want something that I can drop off of lily pads that will sink, that's salt impregnated, and I also want something that I can pull up on the top of the water and use it like a top water if I want to. I've actually thrown this under docks and let it sink down, and as it sinks, the tail kicks and it kind of sinks nose down, and I've caught some really decent fish on this combination. So basically, to rig this, what you've got to do is you need to unscrew the frog from the screw lock that comes with this hook. Now, the other thing that I did is I bought some Owner CPS center line, is what they're called, centering pin spring. I don't know if you could see that very well, but it's a larger spring than what comes on the Unitoad. So when you see the size of the spring there, I don't know if you could see that, there's the size of the spring that comes with the Unitoad, and the size of the spring that you get with from the package. So side by side. And probably what I'll do here is I'm gonna pan down and put this down so you guys can see more of what I'm doing as far as the rigging goes this way. So basically this is the way this comes. This is unscrewed. If you can see the size of that, and then you see the size of the screw lock. Now, the reason I'm changing the screw lock is because the last time I fished these baits, I'd hook a fish, and if the worm or if the frog did not stay in the fish's mouth and he kept it pinned after he got hooked, if this was floating free out here and the fish jumped and shook his head, I lost the bait. The Zoom toads do not have as tough of plastic as what the frog does. Now, size-wise, if you look at them, the profile is similar, except for the fact that this one has twin kicking feet, and this one has a long tail. It's a paddle tail. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have to get this off of here. Had to grab my pliers out of the garage because the spring that's on here, or the retaining spring, whatever you want to call it, the screw lock that's on here, is not one that is generally easy to remove. The bottom line is you got to get the other screw lock off of there, and then these Owner centering screw locks, basically you start it on one end and screw it on, but you can see that now is much better. So you get the other screw lock off, you put this one on, and then what you're going to want to do is center this in the toad's face, and there's just a lot more bite on this setup than there is on the other one. So I take it down to where the eye of the hook is almost into the plastic, and then this allows you to rig the frog in between the hook points. And then probably what I will do, depending on the type of weeds that I'm fishing, I will just expose that a little bit just to keep the hooks from grabbing my finger, because when the bass bites this, it's kind of like a wide gap hook. There's a good gap in between there, and it allows you to get a good hookup. The bass that I've caught on this rig have all been pegged pretty hard in the top of the mouth with both hooks, and did not get. I didn't have any spit it out. So the great part about this profile is you can reel it fast enough that it swims on top of the water like a wake bait. This tail kicks on the back, and so you can fish it like a topwater. You can fish it just under the surface like a swim bait. You can bring it across lily pads. Part of the issue in the area where I live in Iowa is right about now the milfoil and everything is starting to die off, and it creates enough garbage in the water that if you're trying to fish a chatterbait or you're trying to fish a jig, you're constantly pulling pieces of the weeds off of your hook, or it's stopping the chatterbait from working, from vibrating. Same thing with a spinnerbait, gets tangled around the blades, that sort of thing. This is something that's designed to go into those places. You can swim it through some of those weeds, you can swim it through those lily pads, and get a really, really good hookup ratio. I would imagine with the sink rate of this thing, what I've seen when it comes off of the lily pad and it falls nose down and kicks down, drop this at the end of laydowns, kind of like a jig, and let it just fall to the bottom, and then jig it back up, fishing it like that. And I'm probably going to do some follow-up videos fishing this bait in different manners so that you can see what it can do. So basically, that's what it is. You take your frog and hang on to the body, because the other thing is, if you want to go back to fishing hollow body frog, this screw lock will work with this frog body. Just go ahead and put the frog body back on, but it gives you kind of a different bait for your arsenal. That's easy to fish, and it's pretty universal. And if there's other things that you guys have that you've done or that you've tried with these baits, please post in the comments. If you've made a video on something that you've done, please tag that in the comments as well, so that other people can see what it is that you can do with these baits. So that's about it for now. Like I said, it'll be a shorter one than normal. So look forward to seeing you guys on the water, and I'll show you some more of what this bait can do as I use it. Sit your sights on the